Hi, how are you? I'm Anthony from Cypher House, and today I'm back with some more of Islands Puzzle Hunt. Let's take a look at our house and see what room we want to go to next. I still don't know if Kosmos is a meta or not. Let's take a look at exploring the Kosmos, and if it feels too meta-y, then maybe we will switch to something else. You skim a report on a desk that ends in summation. At the start of any space mission, it's important that the crew is well equipped. That feels like it's a clue in some way. Maybe we're summing something, adding things together. Click here for a version of this puzzle in Google Sheets. Yes, please. Commander Neil's mission status. Success. For security purposes, tasks have been removed and other information has been partially redacted. Tasks? Is this an Among Us puzzle? Yeah, no, I don't think this is Among Us. It seems like it's almost similar, but I don't think it is. Let's read over this report in some more detail. Commander Neil. See, there's just so many, like, specific details in here. I feel like we're definitely referencing something. Commander O'Neill is a character in Elden Ring. Or maybe it's a reference to Neil Armstrong? So we have 4 crew members, 4 times, and then communication. 7 is lowest, 8 is highest, 9 is only. This feels like it's definitely referencing some kind of game. Maybe a board game, maybe a video game. Buzz, James, Michael, Neil, these are all astronauts for sure, right? So Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and Michael Collins were the 3 astronauts on Apollo 11. So who is James? Perhaps we're referencing James Irwin, who was an astronaut on Apollo 15. So what do we have in our action log? Error, equipment user information not preserved. So for each of 10 rounds, maybe, we have a different winner. And then we have 4 other pieces of information. There's numbers from 1 to 9, which don't always go lowest to highest. I think they do go lowest to highest within their specified color, but since black is a different color here, maybe that's why the 4 comes at the end. Then we have starting equipment. A bunch of numbers for Neil, Buzz, Michael, James. 4 rockets, 3 rocket, 2 rocket, 1 rocket. It's definitely referencing some kind of board game. I just don't know what. Let me see if I can find it with some of these keywords. We definitely have rockets. I'm thinking I'll try, like, action, equipment. There was also a mention of tasks. Maybe I'll try some of the colors. Ah, wait, the game's called Exploring the Kosmos with a K. That's gotta be a reference to something. Is Cosmo a game designer? Yes. Cosmo is a game publisher. Kosmos, specifically. So what games have they published? The Crew. It's gotta be The Crew, right? It's a trick-taking cooperative card game with 50 missions. Players aim to win tricks based on their task cards. Okay, good. This is seeming relevant. So here on Board Game Geek, we can see that there are 4 different colors, blue, green, pink, and yellow, which do correspond to our player colors. And then there's a trump suit that's the rockets in black, and that also relates to what we have. So this is definitely right. We just need to fully understand how this game works in order to figure out how it relates to this graphic that we've been given. The Wikipedia page doesn't go into enough detail for my liking, so unfortunately that means I'm stuck with the 22-page rulebook. Okay, so this game sounds similar to, like, Hearts, where one player plays a card, and that card is now the suit. Everybody has to follow suit, if they're able to, and then whoever played the highest card of the leading suit gets the whole trick. Okay, rocket cards are trump cards, meaning that they always take the trick, no matter what other cards are in play. but you still can't play a rocket if you can follow whatever the suit was. So the way this game is different than other trick-taking games is you're fully cooperative with the other players, but you're not allowed to communicate about the cards in your hands. Instead, you can only really communicate with these radio buttons. Oh, okay, so the green button can be used to say if your card is the highest, the lowest, or the only card that you have in your hand. So yeah, that's what's going on with this communication at the beginning here. Now, down here at action log, I'm guessing this is just a description of the 4 rounds of play. Since there's 36 cards that are colored with 4 rocket cards, then every player should have 10 cards, so there should be 10 rounds of trick-taking. We also know who won. The question is the leftmost card always the person who leads the trick? And does the same person always lead the trick? I still need to get to that in the rules. In Hearts, whoever took the last trick will lead the next one. But there's a commander in this game, so maybe the commander always leads the trick. Starting equipment log. Okay, so these are just the starting cards that they had in their hand. Neil had the 4 rocket. Okay, yeah, so we just put the different colors in here. That's not too bad. That's going to be helpful. And then I think the mission summary, I'm guessing this is asking, like, how many pink cards did Neil end up with, like, from taking tricks? So now I just need to figure out how this is organized. Is this organized each column is a different player, or is the left column always the first card played? That's the thing we need to think about. Equipment user information not preserved. That means that who played each card isn't indicated here, I think. You know what? I'm guessing these might just be in random order. So we know that Buzz wins the first one, and regardless of which card led, the 9 yellow here has to win this first hand. So Buzz definitely has a 9 yellow. In this row, James wins, so James has the green 6. And in this row, James wins as well, so James has the pink 8. In this next hand, we see that Michael wins, so he had to have the blue 7. Maybe I can look in some of these specific rows. So, like, we have Buzz's card from this round. The 1 can't go... The 1 either goes for Michael or James. The 2 either goes for Neil or Michael. Ah, Neil had all the 5s. Oh, okay, that's helpful. So this is definitely Neil. That means that the 2 is definitely Michael. And that means that the 1 is definitely James. So what can we do with our green round? 1, 3, and 4. James has already been used, so the 1 can only be Buzz or Michael. The 3 can be Buzz or Michael. So the only one that Neil can be in this case is the 4 of green. In the blue round, Michael has already been determined. The 4 can only be Neil at this point, because Buzz doesn't have any 4s, and James doesn't have any 4s. James, we've already determined all his 6s, so this blue 6 has to be Buzz, and that means that this blue 1 has to be James. Since we used Neil's blue 4 here, that means that Neil couldn't have done this pink 4 in the previous round, so this is Michael's pink 4. That means Michael couldn't have done the 7, so Buzz is the only one who could have done this pink 7, and that means Buzz can't have done the 6, so this is Neil. Who's left with a 2? Well, it can't be Neil. We've already determined Michael's 2, so this has to be Buzz. That means that Buzz didn't play number 1, so the pink 1 is Michael. So we're just missing James with the 3 pink. This is showing the mission summary. I had thought that we were going to have to trace the game through as to who won which tricks, and then use that to determine what everybody won at the end. But I'm wondering if maybe we're just supposed to know what everybody started with, because that feels like we could do. We've already placed the 2 green and the 2 yellow, so that means that the only 2 2s remaining are the 2 pink and the 2 blue, and Neil has both of them in his starting hand. So since Neil had all the 5s, we know that Neil needs to also have a blue 5, as well as a green 5. We've placed 3 of the 1s. The only one that's missing is green, so that has to be Buzz's green 1. Yeah, we've placed a green and blue 4 as well as a pink 4, so we need a yellow 4 here. So the only 6 that we still need is yellow to go here. Okay, I think this is where maybe our communication is going to help us disambiguate a few things. We know especially that 7 is somebody's lowest green. So Neil definitely didn't say that. Could Buzz have said it? No, because Buzz's 7 was pink. So this was either Michael or James. and whoever had the 7 green also had a higher green card. So if Michael said 7 green was his lowest green, he also had an 8 green. But the problem is we need Michael to have had a yellow card in round 5. So I think James is the one who communicated about his 7 green being his lowest green. So Buzz is the one who said that 9 was his only blue. I know he has at least another blue here, but we know he played that in round 4. So this just means he said 9 is his only blue at a later point. Mainly because we know that James can't have communicated twice. You're limited to 1 communication. So Michael had 8 blue. For this round, round 5, Michael had to have the yellow 7. We only have 2 9s and they're both for the same player. Oh yeah, we just determined that James had the pink 9. So that means Buzz had the yellow 8. Okay, so the only things that are missing are our remaining 3s. How are we going to determine the remaining 3s? What have these people told us about their hands? Buzz, 9 was his only blue. That doesn't necessarily mean he didn't have a 3 blue. It just means he communicated this after he played his 3 blue. Like, I don't think this quite tells us enough. Well, let's see what kinds of calculations we're getting just based on what we have. So we know Neil had 13 pinks initially. So Neil gets 9 green at the beginning. James had 1 yellow, 20 pink. I need to keep track that the 3 3s we're missing are blue, green, and yellow. Well, for Michael, we only have 2 options for each, right? So he currently has 15 blues. He could have had 18 blues. For yellow, he has 19 currently, and he could have 22. Similarly, for Buzz, he currently has 3 greens, he could have up to 6, and he has 15 blues, he could have up to 18. So if I were converting each of these into letters, 13 is an M, 9 is an I, 3 and 6 is either a C or an F. So maybe we read across the rows here. Mikorvat. Mikorvat? That sounds like it could be like a name. Let me throw this into Nutramatic and see. So this is what we have. Microsat. Microsat. Does that work? Yeah, that would work. Microsat. Microsat was correct. Hooray. I don't know what we were supposed to do with the 3s. Oh, I completely missed that in round 2, we hadn't fully finished who found these greens. So Buzz, we now know, had the green 1, and that means that Michael had the green 3. That was way easier than I was making it out to be. Nice, that was a pretty fun one. I'm not familiar with that game, the crew, so it's cool to learn a little bit about it. I'm glad that the instructions weren't too complicated and were, pretty nicely based in trick-taking games that are common enough and that I've played before. But let me know your thoughts about board game puzzles down in the comments section. I'm excited to hear what you thought about this puzzle overall. We're going to jump right in with Lofty today. Ooh, we have a crossword. I love crosswords. The flavor text is time to get to work on the attic, but what's up with 4 of these downs? 4 of the down clues are doing something weird. I wonder if, because it's about loftiness and something about an attic, I wonder if the 4 down clues are going up. That's my first guess. Label medium-sized Indiana Jones prop. I just noticed that the down clues don't have enumerations, so that's probably playing into the strangeness in some way. Oh, they're also not numbered, are they? Only the across clues are numbered. Gauge's depth increases at Lake Superior first of all. It's the first letters, first of all, for depths increases at Lake Superior to get dials. Dog that is pursuing Bond off and on. So Bond off and on is saying take every other letter of Bond, so that's the O and the D, and then that is IE. So IE after every other letter of Bond gives Odie, who is the dog in Garfield. Bolt as Gandalf holds back troubles. Okay, so hidden backwards in Bolt is Gandalf is nags at. 8 is unclued. It's the long central entry. It's just 5-3, so we'll have to come back to that one. Make out one cook dropping bagels. So bagels could be the letter O. Oh, so we remove O, all of the O's from one cook, and we're left with neck. Mix up Mick Jagger's address outside airport's terminal. 3 letters for Mick Jagger's address around the letter T. Stir. 11. Follow or conform. Double definition. Honestly, these seem like the same definition. Maybe it's not double definition. Maybe follow is tail, and or is just or, and tailor is conform. I'm thinking of like tailoring an experience to a specific person, or tailoring an outfit to a specific person. It's conforming to what that person wants or needs. Liquid equity absorbs loss with minimal fuss. Liquid equity is saying to anagram equity, and it's absorbing an L from loss. I think it's quietly. Returning Rickman character from a Disney movie. So I need to know who Rickman is, and I need to know the 4-letter character from a Disney movie. The one should be the other backwards. Do I know any Alan Rickman? Think Nala might be a Disney character? That wasn't one of the lions in The Lion King, was it? The only reason I'm not looking anything up is just because I'm curious if I can solve it without. I'm going to move on to the downs now. We have a lot of acrosses, so assuming that most of these are normal, except for the 4 that are referenced in the flavor text, then most of these should just be able to fit into the grid in a jigsaw-like way. Maybe they're ordered alphabetically by answer. That would be nice. Drop loaf right away. Loaf is bread, but we're taking the right away, so we remove the R to get bead, which is a drop. So I'm gonna slot in bead here. Dormant muscle on tree-like creature. A tree-like creature could be an ent. If I'm right about this ending in ent, that's the only space this could fit in. 3-letter muscle that ends in T. Lat, and latent means dormant. Gracious internet sensation swallows sad cry. I would guess gracious is the definition. An internet sensation is viral, and it's swallowing, so I'm guessing it's taking in anagrammed, that's what sad's saying, cry. So we anagram cry, we put it in an internet sensation. Could it be a meme? To get gracious, it's mercy me. Interpreted color for the audience. Okay, this is definitely a homophone. Interpreted is the normal definition, but it's a homophone of a color. So red. Love-ins unsettled a European country. I think we're just anagramming love-ins to get a European country. It's Slovenia. It's anagram love-ins and then A. Okay, so this is seemingly one of our answers that where something strange is happening, because I don't see anywhere that it could fit in the grid. Baltimore Ravens. So a Baltimore athlete is a Raven. So this is rave on. Okay, we have our anagram of an, ER, doctors. Ands. It's errands. Something that you don't expect when you have very few vowels is for one of the vowels to be at the start of the word. You think just intuitively that you have to use the vowels to separate the hard consonant sounds. We now have an N for 15 across, which I thought was an anagram last time we were here. I thought it was an anagram of at lunar. Is it just natural? I think it is natural. Like F sharp, F flat, F natural. I think these are all possible terms for musical notes. Flattened hairstyle seen in video game movie. Okay, the video game movie could be Tron, now that I have a letter T there. A hairstyle could be a do, so trod on. Conclude I possess something Belgian, perhaps. Is endive. Endive's like a lettuce. Is it Belgian in origin? Because conclude could be end, and I possess could be I have or I've. I'm wondering if this is another country, just like Slovenia was a country. That would explain why I thought this was an anagram but couldn't find anywhere that it would fit in the grid. It's Croatia, I think. I wonder if we have 2 more countries that make up our 4 strange downs. Perhaps island or land. 500 tree line. I feel like I should get that one. Ash. Ash is a tree. So 500 tree would be dash. Is dash a line? I suppose dash is a line in some sense, because that seems right there. I just noticed that our entry for Ada Cross is only 8 letters, but we have more than that here. So I wonder if we're transforming what's in the grid in the same way that we're transforming these countries. I'm wondering if this one, the big fan of, could mean into, because name is then adopted by skater Midori, and I know Ito is a name, I just have no idea if Ito Midori is a skater or not. Into would fit here pretty good. Oh no, it would actually fit down here even better. Okay, I'm gonna go with into. Plastered exterior to a cafe edition. Plastered exterior to A. I wonder if the answer to this is late. L-A-I-T. Yeah, it is. It is. Seeing it written out helped me. So, plastered and lit are both words that can mean intoxicated. It's exterior to, so it's going around A. And cafe hour, I vaguely recall the word cafe owl, A-U, late. I don't really know what that is, but I've heard it before, and I know it's a thing, so I'm pretty confident this is the answer. You guys are getting a real look into how I solve cryptic crossword puzzles without looking anything up. It's mostly just vague inklings of things I've definitely heard before and not really knowing what I'm doing, but eventually, hopefully, stumbling into the answer. All right, I think it's probably time for me to start looking some stuff up here. So what am I going to do? I think I'm going to start with one look for some of these long down answers that we have most of the letters for, like D blank N-A-R-A, Dinara, mountain range in Bosnia and Croatia. Mountains. Is that why our grid is shaped vaguely mountain-like? What are we doing with Slovenia? We need a Slovenia mountain. The major mountains include Julian Alps, Karawanks. Ah, no, here it is. Triglav. I just found it. Okay, I know this down clue that ends in ULE goes with our mass. I was thinking globule or globule or something like that. Module, nodule. Nodule would be a mass, right? Nod is approval, university is U. And LE is lecture devoid of content. Who is the Scrooge portrayer? A support staff is a Caine. So we're going with Michael Caine here. I'm gonna look for this really long down clue here. We've got Mero Moko Tro, which is, I'm guessing, a mountain. Yeah, volcano in Madagascar. Is that our island? All right, I'm gonna look up is in French. Is in French is probably est, so Ernst is our surrealist. Maybe I'll just look up the other mountain, which I'm assuming is this long one. We have Königstein. So is Germany the land here? I think it's actually this, Namibia. It's the highest mountain in Namibia. Yeah, I was having a lot of trouble with that wordplay. No is the letter N. Trace of aliens is the first letter of aliens, so A. And then I answer is IA after the ET police, which is Men in Black, MIB. I'm really confused about this top answer. I don't know if I have something wrong. Is BEAD not right? Half of NASA express displeasure towards planet. Is Naboo a planet? That was like the only thing I could think of. To express displeasure is boo, and half of NASA is NA. Yeah, Naboo is a fictional planet in the Star Wars universe. Okay, which is why I hadn't heard of it. It's in Star Wars. D-rig? D-rig could mean fix problems. I think at this point I'm just gonna use one look to figure out this middle word. It's gotta be like Lincolnshire, maybe? Yeah, Lincolnshire. There are 142 named mountains in Lincolnshire. We know the enumeration we're looking for is 5-3. The highest peak is Wold's Top, W-O-L-D-S-T-O-P. We're gonna try Wold's Top as our final answer, because I think most of these other ones are the highest peaks in their location. Wold's Top. Yes, Wold's Top is correct. Nice. I am curious what some of these other answers were, though. So this is looking like it's only, and that would go with just. I'm gonna just go to the solutions for this one to take a look at the answers I couldn't figure out. Oh, I put bead up here when read is what went up here. I did have read, didn't I? I did. Where did I put read? Oh, okay, so that's probably part of my problem. Bead goes here, read goes here. So this answer is Mark and debug. All right, and that just leaves, I think, Rebecca that I couldn't parse. Is that an instrument? Yeah, Rebecca is an instrument. Very nice. We've unlocked the puzzle The Doctor is In, which means we only have these 3 puzzles left before we reach the far left side of our house. Let me know down in the comments section if you're liking this puzzle hunt. I'm having a blast with it, of course. I just got to do a variety cryptic, so of course I'm having a blast with it. But I want to hear from you guys as well. What's your favorite puzzle bin so far? Do you have a favorite one from this hunt that I haven't done yet? Let me know that too down in the comments section. Until next time, I hope that you have a great day, and as always, happy escaping. Bye!